Ramai orang tanya, what about being a Muslim in Germany? Ada makanan halal tak? It's a very popular question and I totally understand where it's coming from. So to give you a bit of a background, in Germany we have about 5% of a Muslim population, and in terms of a religion, it's the second biggest religion in Germany as well after Christianity. Most of the population, of the Muslim population, has Turkish roots, but there are also Middle Eastern, Arabic, especially from Syria. And in general, I would say, especially nowadays, it is super common to see women walk around in a hijab. It is not something strange anymore, or where people are like, oh, hijabi or something like that. Super common. And a lot of people are always worried, especially for their kids, ada makanan halal tak? Ada. So the makanan halal is not a problem at all. In Germany, because of the Turkish population, have been living in Germany for quite a while. And over this time, the Duna Kebab became very popular. And by the way, it tastes different in Germany than in Turkey. So it was invented, I think, by a Turkish, okay, that one I'm not 100% sure. But I think it was invented by a Turkish that lived in Germany or lives in Germany. And it is so popular in Germany. Everyone loves Duna Kebab. And even in the kampung, usually you'll have at least one Duna Kebab shop. So if you're looking for halal food outside, it's really easy because of this Turkish population. But then when it comes to supermarkets and you want to cook by yourself, usually the next town will have a halal supermarket or a Middle Eastern supermarket, Turkish supermarket, and they'll have halal meat, halal sausages, everything halal actually, halal gummy bears, whatever you want. So it's super easy. In the bigger cities, it's even easier, and sometimes they'll even have German local food in halal. So we have something that is currywurst, but maybe not in the kampung. In the kampung, you will need to eat the Duna Kebab. But the Duna Kebab is amazing, really. It is really good. It's the best Duna Kebab that exists. You can find it in Germany. I think for your daily life, it is very easy to, stick to that Muslim lifestyle. For instance, going to the mosque, maybe, usually there are mosques as well in every town. Really beautiful mosques in Germany as well. You'd be surprised. Sometimes they are quite tiny and you'd be surprised because it looks like a very small mosque, which you don't really see in Malaysia so much. But it's quite easy, I would say, to find a mosque in Germany, but sometimes maybe it might not look how you know it from Malaysia. In terms of fasting, it totally depends on the season, so to say, okay? So if you're fasting in summer, susah sikit.
Panjang.
Yes, the day is very long, panjang. It starts at 3:30 in the morning, something like that, and then sometimes you have to fast till 9:30 in the evening. So it's pretty long, but then in winter, it's very short and very easy. Of course, it's also easier because it's cold, so you're not as thirsty. In summer, it gets very hot in Germany. A lot of people don't know this, but last summer, I think it reached up to 38 to 40 degrees as well. So Germany gets very hot in summer as well. So fasting totally depends on the season, but there is also usually every town will have a Muslim community that you can join as well for breaking fast for iftar, which is also very nice. So a lot of people will just go there and break fast together. I've never experienced fasting during winter yet, so I didn't have that luxury.
So you always have?
Always the long one, yes, so far. What makes it difficult is the heat, plus it's panjang, right? But it's definitely doable, so don't worry about that. And it's a very nice experience if you have other Muslims around you as well, because you can share that moment. And I think maybe the experience is also a bit different than in Malaysia, because you are not a majority. So not everyone is fasting, but you will have that group of people that are also fasting, so there's a special bond. It's really, really nice. Okay, one very interesting thing is, of course, as well, do Germans know about Ramadan? Do they understand it? Are they familiar with it? I would say nowadays Germans are really quite familiar with fasting, but they are still very surprised when you tell them that during Ramadan you can also not drink during the day. The food part is never so much the issue. It's usually you cannot drink water as well. How do you survive? But I would definitely say that compared to 10 years ago, the awareness about different practice in Islam, such as Ramadan, is much, much better and bigger, and more people know about it. You have to also understand that when you go to school, the classes, like your fellow students in school, many of them are Muslims. So you will learn from your friends. So my generation is quite aware and quite familiar because we have friends that are Muslims and we grow up with Muslims. It is not an issue, but I would say that sometimes you need to be ready to maybe explain a bit about it. And generally, Germans like to ask a lot of questions. For instance, why can't you drink? Or why can't you eat? eat, or what's the reasoning behind fasting. If you're an international student, be prepared that people will ask you a lot of questions. I think in Malaysia, because Islam is so common and so many people are Muslims, there are not many people that are going to ask you these questions. But in Germany, because there are a lot of Christians or atheists as well, they will ask a lot of these questions usually.